This is the chair drill, and if you are looking to master treading water both in the shallow end and in the deep end, then this is the drill I recommend for you. And in today's video, I am going to break down step by step exactly how you can simply master the chair drill so that you can use it both recreationally in shallow water and, in case of emergency, in the deep end. Let's begin. All right, let's go. Step one, I want you to dip down so that your chin is right above the surface of the water. Step two, I want you to take a very deep breath. Step three, I want you to lean slightly back. Step four, I want you to slowly lift your feet up off the bottom of the pool. And step five, we're gonna begin a slow sculling motion back and forth like this. All right, when we put it all together, it looks like this. All right, so now that we know how the technique of chair drill goes, now we actually have to begin building up our total treading water time using the chair drill. And I have all of our students begin with just 5 to 10 seconds starting out with very slow, relaxed movements. And that looks like this. I want you to practice 5 to 10 seconds of continuous chair drill, a minimum of 10 times, before we increase that number to 15 or 20 seconds. When we increase that, it looks like this. When we begin our 15 to 20 seconds of continuous chair drill, we're going to have to begin learning how to breathe, because that's probably too long for us to hold and sustain a single breath. So the question becomes, how exactly do we do that? And that's where a very simple principle comes in called the 150 principle. This is a 100% inhale, which makes us more buoyant in the water, and then a quick 50% exhale followed by an immediate re-inhale. When we do that process, it looks like this. What you will notice on your inhale is that your body will start to move upward in the water, and on your exhale, you'll start to go lower in the water. And this is why it's very important to match the inhale immediately after the exhale so that we don't allow ourselves to go too far under the water. Let me show you one more time. 100% inhale. Then stand back up and begin again. And just like we practiced 10 times for 5 to 10 seconds, I want you to practice a minimum of 10 times for 15 to 20 seconds before moving on to 25 to 30 seconds. Practice that for 10 times, then go 35 to 40 seconds 10 times, 45 to 50 seconds 10 times, all the way up to 1 minute of continuous chair drill practice. And it's at this point of a minute of continuous, relaxed treading water that I recommend we start to practice treading water near a wall in the deep end. But before we get to that, let's cover the 3 most common mistakes that my students make when first practicing the chair drill so that you can avoid making those mistakes altogether. Mistake number 1 actually has to do with our psychology and the belief that in order to be, quote, treading water, we have to be vertical, completely vertical in the water. Nothing could be further from the truth. Remember, the only point of treading water is for us to breathe. It's a safety drill as we are learning how to get started swimming. We're not looking to be professional water polo players or synchronized swimmers, right? We're using this either for the social aspect or the safety aspect. So don't get caught in the definition. Let me show you the actual range of motion that we can do while practicing the chair drill, because we can go almost all the way back into a complete back float, which we would want to use if we want to sustain the chair drill for a long period of time. I'm going to take the mic off so it doesn't get wet, but let me show you that entire range of motion right now. Mistake number 2 could also go into the 1 slot because it happens a lot, but that's trying to outwork the water. Many of my new students have a belief that they have to work hard in order to sustain treading water. Try not to allow this to be you. The truth is, the more relaxed our movements are, the more that we're able to actually use the beneficial properties of the water that help hold us up. But the more rigid and fast our movements are, the more that we're fighting the water, the more that we're going to sink down and the more tired that we get. So try not to make that mistake where you're trying to move so quickly to hold yourself up that you actually end up making yourself sink. Slow, intentional movements are the way to go. And mistake number 3 is trying to practice the chair drill or treading water when we're not 100% relaxed. And it's a lot like mistake number 2. And that looks like this. We try to get into the drill and then immediately go back down. We try to get into the drill and then immediately go back down. We're just not ready yet to trust the water and the properties of water that help hold us up. And when that happens, I highly recommend that we bring outside flotation support in by way of our treading water progressive flotation belt. Let me show you what that belt looks like so that if this describes you and you can't quite hit the 5 to 10 second mark, before giving up, bring in this progressive flotation belt and practice with it. It will help you progress into treading water in the beginning with flotation support, but then eventually without it. Let me show you exactly what that looks like. This is the treading water progressive flotation belt. This has 6 of these removable floats, which allow the belt to meet you exactly at the amount of flotation support that you need in order to successfully tread water. But the key here is that it doesn't force you to either have all of the flotation support or none of the flotation support like most belts do. This, you can actually remove the pods so that the belt becomes less and less buoyant and you rely more and more on your own skills. But notice what I can do here. I can be completely in the chair drill position without moving at all, and while recording this video speaking to you. It is a phenomenal amount of buoyancy support that will help you learn how to trust the water so that you can sustain treading water for longer periods of time. It tends to be that our students take around 20 total hours of exposure to the water before being competent enough to tread water for that minute mark that we talked about earlier. And so if we're not able to hit that number, let's use the belt. Now, let me show you what I was talking about a second ago with how simple this is to remove flotation. On the back of the belt are Velcro straps. All you do is lift up the strap, tuck the buckle under it, and then remove the pod. All right? Put that to the side. Then we put the belt back on. If I can get it the right way. rebuckle it up, and begin the process again. Now this time, the belt is between 5 and 10% less buoyant, which means that we're relying more and more on our own individual skills when treading water. And I can feel that difference. It's not a huge amount, but it's enough to know that you're making progress. And I think that works wonders for our psychology as brand new swimmers. And once you have successfully completed 1 minute of relaxed chair drill practice in the shallow end of the pool, I will see you for part 2 in the deep end. Before we get started with part 2 in the deep end, if you need more support ensuring that you're successful with treading water, click on the link in the description. We have a step-by-step learn how to tread water course. It's $99, and included with that course is a free treading water progressive flotation belt. All you pay is shipping and handling. I hope to see you there. And as we begin part 2, here's a quick safety reminder. Number 1, never swim alone. And number 2, if this is your first time or you are not 100% comfortable and confident swimming in the deep end, please use flotation support. It might just help save your life. With that, let's begin. Part 1 of treading water with the chair drill in the deep end is doing so parallel to the wall. We do this for safety reasons and just to help us from a comfort perspective. With that, I want you to, number 1, turn to the side. Number 2, lower yourself down so that we're just above the surface of the water. Part 3, fill your lungs up with air. Part 4, lean slightly back. Part 5, start to bring your feet off the wall and let them hover in the water. Part 6, gently let go of the wall. And part 7, begin moving those arms in slow, intentional movements. Remember, we're only doing this for 5 to 10 seconds to start. Once you have hit that, grab back onto the wall and pull yourself back in to safety and stand on up. Part 2. Once you have practiced 5 to 10 seconds for a minimum of 10 repetitions, we can increase the length of time that we're doing the chair drill here in the deep end to 15 to 20 seconds. When we do that, I would like us to try to push a little bit further away from the wall so that we can really begin relaxing our arm movements. It's a little tricky to have very slow, methodical arm movements when we're right up against the wall, just because we run out of room. And so as we're starting to go to 15 to 20 seconds, try to increase the scope, the size, the distance of your sculling, that's the word I'm looking for, so that we can really start to slow down and relax those movements. But nonetheless, once you have hit 15 to 20 seconds, bring yourself back into the wall and stand on up. Now, as was the case in the shallow end, I want you to go 10 repetitions of 15 to 20 seconds and then build that up in 10-second increments all the way up to 1 minute of full chair drill treading water in the deep end. Once you have done that, now it is time for us to start working on controlling our direction while in the chair drill. Let me show you a couple of steps of exactly how to do that. Step 1, we're still going to start parallel to the wall. We're going to get ourselves in the chair drill just like we were doing before, and we're going to push off and begin our 1 minute of chair drill treading. From there, I want you to extend one arm more than the other and start to pull yourself back towards the wall. Once you get there, feel free to stand on up, turn, push yourself off the wall, still in the chair drill, and I want you to attempt it with using our opposite arm. Again, extend all the way, pull towards you. Extend, pull towards you. It is the pulling of more water with one of our arms than the other that will allow us to move in the direction that we are pulling. Let me show you one more time. Pushing off the wall, extending our arm, pulling or pushing the water that way. That'll send us this way. Extend, pull, extend, pull. I call this the sideways pull chair drill. I just made that up, but don't tell anyone. Now, the next thing that we can do to control movement is doing so while facing the direction that we want to go. We do this with this is called a breaststroke pull style sculling with our arms. So back in the chair drill, and this time we extend our arms more forward than side to side. Every time we extend our arms forward and pull, we start moving in that direction. And the third way that we can control direction is to actually push ourselves the opposite way that we're trying to go. So, for example, if I'm trying to get to that end of the pool, I want to push the water this way. Let me show you. Get up into our chair drill, and we have big arm pulls like this. Straight out, like an airplane, push or flop like a bird. Straight out, push. Straight out, push. I think this is the most efficient way to move while we're in the chair drill. Let me show you as I'm moving now towards the camera. Extended arms, push. Extended arms, push. Extended arms, push. And when our arms are at the bottom, as long as we're creating enough momentum, allow your body to glide in the water so that we reduce the amount of energy that we're using in order to create that direction. Now, if you are not 100% comfortable in deep water, then as we are starting our chair drill practice in the deep end, it is mandatory that we use flotation support like this progressive treading water belt. We want to clip it on and then start the exact same process we just covered when we were not using the belt, with 5 to 10 seconds parallel to the wall. All right, so let me cover that again for you. Step 1, dip yourself down. Step 2, make sure our chin is right above the surface of the water. Take a deep breath. Step 3, lean slightly back. Step 4, let your feet off the wall. Step 5, gently let go of the wall. Step 6, begin our sculling movement with our arms gently for 5 to 10 seconds before returning back to the wall and standing back up. Again, I want you to complete 5 to 10 seconds, a minimum of 10 times, even if you're using the belt, before increasing the length of time that you're practicing. Remember the keys to treading water in the chair drill. Number 1, relaxation. The more relaxed our movements, the easier this is going to go. Number 2, trying to normalize our breathing, especially when we have the belt on. Earlier, I discussed the 150 principle. Remember, that's a 100% inhale, 50% exhale, followed by the immediate inhale. If when you are practicing that with your belt and it feels right, I want you to do that. If you start to feel like you're holding on to too much air, then when wearing the belt, I want you to return to more of a normal style breathing. Always doing so from our mouth. Anytime we're in the water, we don't want to be breathing in through our nose. All right, and I want you to practice that at full flotation, all the way up to 1 minute of continuous treading before removing the belt, pulling up on one of these Velcro straps, and removing one of the flotation pods before putting the belt back on, and practicing again, only this time with less flotation support, using more of your own skill. At this point, once you've removed flotation, I want you to start back at 5 to 10 seconds and do that 10 more times, and then go 15 to 20, 25 to 30, all the way back up to a minute before removing the second of 6 of these pods and continuing that process until you no longer need flotation support. Here are the 3 most common mistakes our students do when first practicing treading water in a chair drill in the deep end. Number 1 is pushing past their limits and believing that they need to progress into deep water in order for, quote, treading water to count. Nothing could be further from the truth. Remember that there is a safety element to deep water. We never want to push our skills or try something new in the deep end. Do not make that mistake. If you are not 100% comfortable in deep water, I need you to wear flotation or stay in the shallow end and continue practicing for 20 hours or more until you're 100% comfortable and trust your own skills in shallow water before bringing those into the deep end. Number 2 is a very big mistake when we're not wearing the belt, and that's exhaling too much, which makes our body sink. I'm going to take off the mic and show you what that looks like, but when we make this mistake, it tends to lead to panic and an overreaction, especially from our new students. And so I really want you to avoid this if you can. Here is what I'm talking about. Now, let me show you that one more time. Remember, when we're taking our inhale, it's a 100% inhale, and then a 50% exhale followed by a quick inhale. Don't allow yourself to go too low in the water when we are exhaling, because it just makes it difficult for us to then get the inhale. Let me show you this one more time. Mistake number 3 is having our arm movements be too rigid and trying too hard when we're in the deep end to keep ourselves up. Remember, the harder you work, not only the more tired you get, but the worse off we actually are from a buoyancy perspective in the water. When we work super hard, our muscles tense up and they don't work with the water at all. So it becomes substantially more difficult for us to tread water, especially in the chair drill with fast, rigid movements. If you're making that mistake, grab our course, grab the belt. It will absolutely change your treading water experience. And here's a 4th bonus mistake that I see a lot. It's having our neck up like this, looking towards this wall if we're facing this way, and not allowing our head to be relaxed on the surface of the water. Let me show you first the incorrect way of doing it, and then second, the correct way of doing it. Whew, that's tough to do. All right, that was the incorrect way. Now let me show you the correct way. And I will leave you with this. Do not get caught in the definition of treading water and thinking you have to be 100% vertical. The chair drill is treading water, and it has helped so many of our students perfect and master treading water once they realized, hey, not only is the chair drill a lot easier to do, but they kind of let themselves off the hook of thinking they have to be vertical in order to meet the definition of treading water. I would love to hear from you. If you like the chair drill, what you found worked well for you, any questions that you might have about the chair drill, add those in the comment section below. Remember, if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to our channel. And if you know anyone else looking to learn how to swim or tread water, please share it with a friend. Thank you so much for joining me in this treading water chair drill video. I can't wait to see you in the next one.